Alec Enkiri here, and I got a pretty fun upper body workout to show you guys today. Still chasing 2 plates on the strict standing OHP. You know, it's going to be a while, guys. I've had a little dip in my pressing strength recently. Been having trouble keeping my body weight up, and that caused my pressing numbers to dip down a little bit. It's kind of the way things go sometimes, but you know, I'm doing what I can, man. I'm doing what I can. It's the natty life. So we'll get there eventually. But so anyway, we're starting to see a lot more variety, a lot more different things starting to come into play into the training program at this point, for 2 primary reasons. One, to keep the progress wheel churning, right? To keep letting me hit these hard and challenging efforts and keep building that all-around dummy strength, even while some of my other more primary variations may have kind of stalled out for the time being. And 2, really just to keep things fun and interesting, just so that I'm willing to keep busting my ass for it, even when things aren't going well, even when things aren't going as well as they could be, which is kind of an intangible that you cannot assign a value factor to, okay? It's really like the make or break factor, guys. Remember that. Anyway, though, so here we've got the Z press off of pins. Now, this was my second time ever Z pressing off the pins, and it was the first time I'd ever tried going heavy like this. The first time I did the exercise, I ramped up to a heavy set of 5 reps, and I think I did either 150 or 155 pounds for 5 reps. I can't remember which one of those it was, but I know I've logged that session not too long ago. It was either 150 or 155. Here I ended up hitting a heavy single at 170 pounds, which based on that set of 5 that I did before is actually pretty damn disappointing, to be honest with you guys. The wishful thinking part of me going into this session was hoping for 185, but the more realistic part of me was really thinking that 175 or maybe even 180 would be a pretty plausible number for me to hit. But I just really, and I thought 170 was going to be the second to last lift going into it, I'll be honest with you. But I just ran into a goddamn brick wall at the lockout on the 170 pound lift, and I really was not expecting that, man. After 155 flew up like it was freaking nothing, I was really thinking there was going to be more there. But this lift, the Z press, it just gets really, really tough, really, really fast. Still though, all in all, it's not a bad result. I put out a good effort here, and I managed a very tough, but still pretty technically clean, heavy single. And that means that I took one more step in the right direction here, and that makes this training session a win. Now, after the Z press, it was on to the standing overhead press, again off of pins. This time ramping up to a heavy triple. So a little bit more intense, heavy work, right? But a little bit more of a focus on reps here. Not too much more, but a little bit more than before. A triple is quite a different experience from a heavy single. And so now we're gonna kind of see my stubborn side start to come out a little bit though. So I got up to 175, right? For a decent triple off the pins here, standing off the pins. But that set was tougher than it should have been, probably due to fatigue from the heavy Z press that I had just finished up just a few minutes before this. So now I know after 175, I should jump to 180 pounds, crank out 3 reps with it, and then just move on to the next exercise, right? But being is how I had just come up short of my Z press goal just a few minutes prior, I was really feeling kind of pissy at this point in the workout. So instead of going to 180, I was stubborn and I jumped to 185, and I forced myself to grind out 3 butt ugly reps with that weight. It's not really ideal, but you know, at least I turned on the effort gene for this one. I get an A for effort and a D- for intelligence with regards to my auto regulation, but fuck it, oh well. Moving on to the next exercise, and now we finally get some rows. So I'm calling this one the meme row, guys, and honestly, it is not a keeper. You can see I got my feet anchored under the bar behind me there, and then I'm using the Swiss bar set up on the pins in the squat rack as a chest supporting device to row off of. And this exercise was just all kinds of weird. I started off with the 45s on the bar, and then I switched to 25s after that because the 45-pound plates were kind of big and they were just getting in the way really and screwing up the arc in the rowing pattern. But even then, with the smaller 25s on the bar, it was still no good, really. It's just something about the setup here was preventing me from really finishing the pull, finishing the row at the top, at the end of the rowing pattern there. And the weight never really felt all that heavy, but it just wasn't a very good setup, right? You couldn't really get it right, or at least I couldn't figure out how to get it right here. So I did not end up doing this exercise again. But hey, man, that's just part of the game, right? Home gym life and all that. You got to get creative sometimes. And I've been looking for different ways to set up different rowing movements lately, because I've been getting bored of standard cable rows, right? Even though I bought all those new handles to use, I still got bored of that. So I started doing those recline cable rows, which I also showed to you guys. Before that, last year, I was doing all Swiss bar rows while hanging off my hyperextension machine. I really liked that variation, but I got bored of it after a while, like I always do. Also, I've been doing one-arm cable rows lately, croc rows with my dumbbells, and then most recently, I've started doing meadow rows as well, which that one, it might honestly be my favorite of all. The way that the bar lines up with the back muscle fibers on the meadows row really adds a special element to that one. But anywho, so basically, I've been bored of all my rowing options lately, and that is why the meme row was invented and then promptly discarded. And then I just want to wrap up here real quick. So my final pressing movement for the day was the swing strap OHP. It was my first time doing this, and I just wanted to work my way up to a tough set of 10 reps here to close out the session and get in some more volume for my shoulders that way. I think I ended up doing sets of 100, 110, and 120 pounds first time. So I was really just feeling out the movement. I deleted all the other videos though, so this is all that we're left with. But basically, the swing straps here, they just make the weight shift around a little bit more while you are pressing the bar, and so you're forced to be much more precise in your movements, much more deliberate in your movements, and really just engage those stabilizers in the shoulders, which after all that intense pressing work that I've been doing lately and that I did here, that's going to be good for my long-term shoulder health, right? So that's really the main reason that I added this in. I posted this clip on my Instagram story and on my YouTube story right after I did it a few weeks ago, and a bunch of people thought that it was a stupid exercise, thought that I'd lost my mind. But I think that when you view it within the context of the entire workout here, as well as within the context of the entire training cycle, that you kind of start to see the value in adding something like this into the program. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to cover today, guys. If you enjoy these training vlogs, please remember to hit the like button before you go, and leave me some love in the comments down below as well. The engagement is really helpful for my channel, guys, so I really appreciate that. Now, if you find the info here helpful and you just want to throw some support my way, then be sure to check out EnkiriEliteFitness.com. I offer custom training programs on there. I got my comprehensive online coaching, that's my main gig. I also have training templates on there that I sell. I've sold probably a few thousand of those over the last couple years, 2.5 years, something like that, since I released them. And the gains that people have reported to me have just been fucking awesome, man. And these are more than just generic training programs, right? This is something that I have not really sold myself on. I feel like I kind of undersold myself in the past, and I'm trying to rectify that recently and sell these programs for what they really are. They're not just generic programs. They're basically reusable teaching manuals. They teach you how to program for yourself along the way, while also providing you with ample gains as well simultaneously. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. They're really great. The feedback that I've gotten from them in the last few years has just been pretty immense. So be sure to grab one of those if you want to join the hype. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Keep training hard, and I will catch you all next time.